we are back, the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. What really started out as a radio show podcast has really ripple affected. We love ripple effect, Valerie and I, but it has ripple affected into another acronym for PALS, but the Professionals and Animal Lovers Society. It is a group of committed folks who are, some are business professionals, some are on the advocate side, some are both business professionals and advocates, and we all work together to improve things for the animals. We believe that the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong, and that's why we support each other in business, in rescue, and in advocacy so that everyone wins.
Especially the animals.
Because that's what
Especially
it's all about.
That's what it's all about. That's Angela Ardolino with us. Tommy Demisa, Valerie Heffron in the house, as they say, in the house. So let's get into this conversation. Just before we do, there's three things we do, and I think Angela, I think this is going to resonate with you for sure. We do three things on the show. We do three things in this society. We learn, we educate, and we advocate, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I was telling Val just last week that a lot of the advocacy I do in other parts of my world, I'm very involved in the nonprofit sector. I am the nonprofit sector connector. And a lot of the advocacy I do, I'll say was just kind of got a shot in the arm from the conversations that I've had with Valerie as it relates to being the voice for the voiceless. And I think we're going to get into a lot of that today. So really, without further ado, Valerie, you know more about Angela than I do. I have a million questions. Maybe we'll get to 900,000 of them today, but I want you to take it away, set it up because you have more awareness of Angela and her work. I would say this, I did make sure I had this coffee mug today, gang. So I'm
Yay!
showing everybody my TJ Maxx coffee mug with the mushrooms on it. But so we'll get to that. Val, take it away. Introduce our new friend.
Oh gosh, it is so my pleasure. I have been looking forward to meeting Angela. We've never spoken or met live in person before. Um, and I start off really, I'm a big gratitude person, and I actually just want to say thank you because the products that you have, which we stock now on our shelves at my store, are truly it's a game changer. And we're getting so many customers telling us the improvement that they're seeing with their pets, targeting specific issues, and including my own dog, who, I mean, I could cry sometimes. He's like 14 and a half years old. I'll make this quick, but he recently had like a little bump on his shoulder, which caught my attention. So I was keeping an eye on it. We took him to a local holistic, like an acupuncture vet, and she was like, "It's not cancerous. You don't really have to worry about it, but keep an eye on it if it's growing." So it grew, and I was getting nervous. So long story short, I will be honest, I was a little bit skeptical. Like, I don't know. I've never tried CBD on one of my pets or any type of CBD product. And so we went with Remedy, which is a salve, and we started putting it on the spot every single day. And this was the timing was crazy. My groomer, she's a mobile groomer, came to my house when it had grown from the size of like a lentil to like the size of like a chickpea.
Mm-hmm.
So it was much bigger and it was even visible through his coat while walking him.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her about it because I was nervous that she might, shave over it or whatever. And so we did it for those following weeks. And then the next time my groomer came back 5 or 6 weeks later, she was like, "Oh my God, it's almost gone." Like she had a hard time finding it. And I'm like, I know. I couldn't believe it myself. It's just so exciting. So Angela Ardolino, I thank you. And to introduce her, she has an incredible story, which of course starts with herself and her own pets. And she is the founder and formulator for CBD dog products, as well as Mico Dog, which is the medicinal mushroom line, which is also mind-blowingly amazing, and really helping the animals. So, Angela, I'm so glad you're here. It's an honor. Um, Please, by all means, usually I like to start at the beginning, like, how did CBD Dog come to be?
Well, I want to start first by with talking about Remedy because I had so in 2016 is when I started CBD Dog Health, but I couldn't release my products until 2018.
Mhm.
So I got to develop, perfect everything in those 2 years. And in those 2 years, I was bored and I bought a very busy groom shop, daycare, and boarding facility that was literally down the street from my house. And when
Mhm.
I say busy, first of all, it was a shithole that I then, of course, renovated and made it a holistic grooming facility. I couldn't believe the shampoos were like eating the skin off my arms. And I'm like, and this is supposed to be therapeutic. But
Oh, that.
Remedy was created for that exact reason, is how many dogs came in with these lumps and bumps, and the poor groomer, and groomers always find it because they're inspecting the entire dog before they start. So
Mhm.
that's what it's, I put Remedy on it, put Remedy on it, put Remedy on it, and that's literally a one tumor after another. And then when I had a rescue, I would have old dogs with MCT tumors, cancerous tumors. And that is the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen, because aging is not a disease. Aging just needs support, and plants and mushrooms do that. So, literally, the salve helps the body get rid of it. And I could watch the first time that it happened. I didn't even get to see it happen because the dog went out and rolled on its back and came back without a tumor on her anymore. But literally, you can see it destroy itself. You can see it start to, sometimes in papillomas, it looks like someone actually took a flame to them because they look burnt, and it's just the salve. So it's really incredible. But how my story started was in 2015, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And I lived a really natural lifestyle. I had already removed the bad things, most of the bad things out of my diet, the fabric softeners, the plug-in. I didn't do plugins, but all the stuff that we need to take out of our environment that's toxic. So I was really surprised that I was diagnosed with this autoimmune disease, but
Mhm.
it's caused by stress. So I did it to myself, so I knew I could reverse it. Of course, the doctor prescribed Humira, which is a pharmaceutical that is prescribed for most autoimmune diseases and is already linked to lymphoma. So I'm not interested in doing that. So
Mhm.
I started to look for what I could take alternative. And
Mhm.
that's when I found Fico, which is a full extract of cannabis oil and a tincture form. And I will never forget taking my first, dropper full of it and literally feeling it go through my body. I didn't know I was in as much pain as I was until I felt it leave. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And then
Uh,
my anxiety and stress levels went down. And
yeah.
I'm like, what is this? And
Yeah.
why is this illegal? And I was in Florida at the time. I had a media company where I had a magazine and I did TV segments and radio shows all about natural living, how to live naturally for your whole family, your pets, your kids, everything.
Mhm.
And so I started reporting on it because in Florida, medical marijuana wasn't even legal yet.
Mm.
So I became a huge advocate and helped make it legal in Florida. And
Okay.
that's literally how it started. At the same time that I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, my soul dog was diagnosed with degenerative myelopathy.
Mm.
He stopped going upstairs, stopped playing as much. He was 9, hitting, senior age. And the medicine that I made for myself is also his medicine too, which is the ease.
Yeah.
And both of our diseases never happened. They went into remission, they never got worse.
I'll tell
He
you.
went literally back from running up the stairs at night to, jumping up and down and playing and no pain. So it's,
Yes.
as we get older, things might get off, but the endocannabinoid system is the master system in our bodies, and it's responsible for keeping us at homeostasis. So if you've got something wrong with your respiratory or cardiovascular or whatever, if you aren't dealing with that endocannabinoid system, you'll never get completely back to homeostasis.
I have to say, Angela, that Ease is our bestseller.
Yeah, ours too.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. And what I find is that people who buy it and try it, they continue to rebuy
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Um, and it's funny you should mention the stairs thing because this is actually in my life, it was a pivotal moment for us with our dog. This wasn't CBD, but about 4 years ago, actually almost 4 years ago to the date, we had on in this podcast, we were very new and we had on a clinical pet nutritionist who I was talking to her about my dog who had stopped going up and down the stairs. She gave me a recipe for a bone broth. That's the only thing we changed in his diets. And a couple of weeks ago, and to this day, he's now 14 and a half years old, goes up the stairs by himself, chases
Awesome.
the cats. And that was my like aha moment, like, okay, what else do I need to know? And it really is a testament to the fact that when we turn to nature, nature gives us the answers and you see these results like tenfold, like more
And
than
don't forget that nature also gives you all the pharmaceuticals that are in existence because every pharmaceutical is based on a food, plant, or mushroom that worked, but we can't patent those things and make billions of dollars. So they either
yes.
make it in a lab or they just pull out one compound out of
Yeah.
it, and it's never the same.
Can
Never the
we talk
same.
about that? Because one of my favorite things that I've ever seen you post is it's a picture of you and it's holding a sign. You were holding a sign that said all synthetics suck.
Yeah, and a lot of people were angry. It's like
I'm
I
sure.
just become the more of a disruptor, which I didn't know I would be a disruptor. The more of a disruptor that I become, the more, it's like you either love me or you hate me. But
Well,
yeah,
I
they
love you.
do.
Yep.
Synthetics are fake. Synthetics are man-made chemicals, and the worst thing about synthetics is your body doesn't know what they are. So when you take them, your liver, your detox pathways literally have to work on overtime to A, figure out what it is, and then they're either going to do the right thing, which is whatever the action happens, but the rest of the stuff, get rid of it, but it doesn't always do that. And so guess what those bumps and lumps are on old dogs? They're where the liver stored toxins in their fatty tissue because it didn't know what to do with them.
Mm,
And then
Mm,
what does the pet parent do? They go to the doctor who cuts into that thing and releases years and years of toxic waste that the liver didn't know what to do with. Why would
mm,
we do that? And why would we do this to old dogs when everything else, everything's not functioning as well as it was and they need support?
mm,
Not another, concoction of chemicals that's going to send their body into craziness. At night, the liver is supposed to be healing and detoxing you. It can't do that if it's having to process kibble or pharmaceutical drugs. Already has to process the flea and tick and the pesticides and the air fresheners and the laundry detergent and all the other crap out there. So
right.
we don't need to bombard these animals with more chemicals. And that's what it is. They're just chemicals. And
Angela, I gotta ask you. I mean, I wrote down so much already. This is like a class. You're running a clinic for us, but I want to pull out a couple things you hit upon for sure. I mean, you said aging is not a disease. Aging needs support. The body is an incredible machine, man. If we can get out of the way and actually just give it, you use this word support a couple of times and just give it the support. I mean, like it's as simple as last week, I forget what happened, but I cut my finger and I just like watched it over like 12 hours over, and I was like, that is absolutely wild that this
isn't it?
body can like repair. Like if you really, gang, if you sit there and you think about what this body is able to do, now when a body is sick or stressed or inflamed and things like that, we're gonna see many challenges with these responses and what the body's able to do. But I just think to your point, if we can just support it in the way it needs to be supported. Like, I mean, I've had experiences like sometimes you have like a skin tag or something and you take a little essential oil and stuff. And I think it's just wild how essential oil would just like shrivel that thing up.
It's
And
not a
I'm not,
mistake though. Like
no,
nature literally provides us with
right.
all the food and medicine that we need. We just
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
grow it the way it's supposed to be grown,
yeah,
extract it or harvest it at its peak time, extract it so you're
yeah,
not damaging any of those other compounds, put it in
Yep.
safe
Yeah.
preservative. So that's what blows my mind is the alcohol. How
Mm.
many enemies I've made by calling out alcohol. Like, really? I
Mm.
have to remind people that it's a poison? It's an
Yeah, it's funny.
incredible extractor and it's an
Yeah.
incredible preservative, but it's still poison.
I want to talk to you about that one too. Let's jump into that for a sec because I have a comment on something else you said that I really want you to dive into. But first of all, I like to tell people that I'm sober for 15 years, and
Awesome.
I like to tell
That's
them
my
that because it's
partner.
thank you. Yeah, it's that. Well, congrats for sure. Send love out there. I just think it's important to point that out because I think many of us have these different battles we're going through, and if you're out there, gang, it's just one day at a time, 1 hour at a time. It really is. But there's this funny meme, if you've ever seen it, gang, where it's like an alien talking about drinking alcohol. Now some people who like, and again, I have people in my immediate family that drink alcohol. I'm not
Of
going to
course,
hate on it.
yes.
However, it is toxic. It is poison. So this thing is like, wait a minute. So wait, so you drink this stuff and it tastes terrible, right? Just for example, for the alien, it tastes terrible, and then like, does it make you like, do you feel like really good like the next day? And you go, no, 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 I'm terrible. Wait a minute. So, all right, so it must make you don't like get sick or anything. I'm butchering this meme, but the
Right.
bottom line is this alien is like, what? Like you do, like imagine that somebody comes from outer space and sees what we do. Now, again, I was a bartender for many years. I grew up in a family that was a partying family, so not a negative. I'm not trying to be rude about it, but I'm with you. It is absolutely terrible. And every so often we hear these things about, a glass of red wine is good for your heart, and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, when you dial it back and you do the work, like none of that it is poison, and to put it in your body is no good. Here's my question. Something you talked about as it related to your own RA, your own rheumatoid arthritis, and this endocannabinol. I knew I was going to have trouble with the word.
It's okay. It took me a long time.
Can you hit it? Can you hit it for me? Just give me the word and then I'll repeat it.
Endocannabinoid. And it's
And the
actually,
end.
they
Yeah.
changed it. It's even worse now. It's called the endocannabinoid ohm because they
Oh,
included the gut microbiome as part of this system.
oh, I thought it was so we'd do like namaste, om, endo. So endocannabinoid system, but like this is a system in our body that has these receptors. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I'm way above my skis already. That's where I'm going to lean on you to get this. But like that is a system in our body that is waiting for this. For these now again, gang, I'm not talking about smoking marijuana. All right, that's not what we're saying here, and I'm not necessarily against all that either. Gang, if that's what you do your thing. But
I'd
that's not
much rather you do that than drink
Hundred
alcohol.
100%. If we're gonna do, listen, there's a whole nother show where you and I can say, I mean,
Exactly.
nobody
Do it
gets
in a
really,
tincture. You don't
nobody
even
gets
have to smoke
terribly,
it.
terribly injured from a little bit of the sipping a little bit of the tea, but sipping a little bit of the booze, they certainly do.
Mhm.
But anyway, we get off that soapbox. But what I want to ask you is, like, our system is waiting for this, and there's definitely been a sea change in this country. The green wave is here, man. So talk about that, like,
The
because this is
green
not
wave is
just
here, but the
yeah.
green wave is trying to control the industry and destroy the hemp industry.
That's again, we're
I
like this
know.
is like a rerun. It's
Show
like a
number
rerun from
432.
it's like a rerun from 100 years ago.
Right.
That's how it all started. Talk to us about that because it's not just the animals; it's us too. We are animals. So like that, our systems, as much as you want to, that you can talk about like our systems and that why we crave and need this.
That, and I guess I didn't finish my story, but got rheumatoid arthritis, took that FICO, took that tincture, and became a huge advocate, and ended up selling my magazine, my whole company, and throwing myself into the cannabis industry. And I traveled with, hired the best consultant in the business, and literally traveled the country with him, learning, grow, sourcing seeds, a good grow versus a bad grow, different extractions, all that. And in 2016, the University of Vermont School of Medicine called him up and said, "Hey, we're starting our first cannabis program for therapeutic use, and it's biology, and we want the inaugural class to be killer. Do you know anybody?" And so he nominated me, so I got to go, and that's where I learned about the endocannabinoid system and learned that every animal has it.
Yeah.
So this medicine isn't just here to help us and our dogs and cats, our horses, our fish, our turtles.
Yes.
I've used it in wildlife rehab, possums, raccoons. I have used it in every way possible. I will
Wow.
formulate something and take it myself, then start giving it to my animals and literally watch case after case after case. But
Wow.
this system is not taught to our doctors and veterinarians. They know nothing about it. So they could never bring us, not that that's the objective of conventional healthcare, but they'll never get us back to homeostasis if we ignore the system that's literally in control of our whole body and all of
Yeah.
our other systems.
Wow.
The other beautiful thing about this system is that cannabis, of course, including hemp and marijuana, interact with it, but so do several adaptogens in mushrooms.
Mm,
So it is everything from pain, inflammation, again, homeostasis. Homeostasis is where we're just operating good and we're not feeling any pain and everything's well. That's its number one objective. So yes,
mm,
that's why it's so incredible, but it has to be made right and it has to be a therapeutic dose. The reason
mm,
my products are incredible is that's my intention. My intention isn't to make a product so that I can make the most profit off of it. My intention is to make a true therapeutic medicine, which is
yeah.
kind of what happened with mushrooms. It actually happened with both of them. When I got out of University of Vermont, I went to go find the pet products. There weren't any.
Mm,
There were human products that they slapped a paw print on, and the
mm,
dosing is off because animal dogs in particular we have already found in research that they have more receptors than we do. That's why they're more sensitive to THC. It is not toxic or poisonous and will not harm them, which, if you'll just indulge me, in 1973, they did a study called the Rosencrantz study, where they actually wanted to see how much THC it would take to kill a person. And like they do in most research, they test on animals. So they
mm.
tested on rats, beagles, and chimpanzees. They gave them 9,000 milligrams of THC, which is insane.
Wow.
Two
Wow.
rats passed because they regurgitated, threw up in their sleep, and choked and whatever. Had nothing to do with the marijuana. The
Mm,
no dogs and no chimpanzees died. And
Nine
matter of fact,
thousand milligrams.
9,000 milligrams. And matter of fact, the chimpanzees, within like a couple of months, were able to bring themselves to normal and barely even seemed high, which is kind of what happened with my Doberman who had osteosarcoma, who I did give 10 milligrams of THC every single night. Did not harm her, did not kill her, did not poison her. Instead, it killed the cancer and got rid of all her pain. She had bone cancer, and I did not have to use a single pharmaceutical pain med.
And it went away though,
No,
Angela. Like, okay, so she
osteosarcoma doesn't go away once it's there.
okay, but
But
she
I did
survived
not,
because
yeah, she got 4 months. It's a very aggressive cancer. Within 4 months, it spreads and,
hmm
takes them down. I didn't even amputate her leg, and I got
wow.
more than 2 years out of her. So she's like, and she was
wow,
a geriatric Doberman. So
Wow.
considered a an incredible case because it's unheard of. But
yeah.
the way
Now,
I now
is
know how cancer works, and I know that what cannabis has already been proven to do cancer, and you add these adaptogens and the correct diet, you really can. eh, We all have cancer cells in us. It's just a matter of making sure that those cells don't get together and take over the
Yeah.
host.
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
so back to that story with your Doberman, was that I have a couple of questions. Was that ease that you were giving her
So
or
I did both. I did horse ease and horse heel on her. So
okay.
I would switch the horse heel and horse ease during the day. And then at night with the THC, the first night I gave her the THC, she peed in her sleep, incontinence.
Okay.
But her bed was a very expensive restoration hardware chair. So I needed to fix that real fast. So I remembered in my schooling that CBD dampens the side effects of THC, and that's the side effect is the high. So
Mhm.
I love to tell this to people if you're ever in a state, you go to a medical dispensary and you get something and you take it and you're way too high, take some CBD and that will bring that high down. So
Okay.
the second night I gave her the regular heel with the THC and she had no side effects from taking 10
Amazing.
milligrams, which is a human
Let-
dose of
I,
THC every night.
I gotta
Wait,
ask you a question. Go ahead,
question.
Val. You go first.
So, okay. This pertains to my own dog right now. First of all, I should mention that again, he's older and we moved recently. And he started kind of bumping into furniture, and he doesn't see that well anymore. We had to have one of his eyes surgically remove this year. So the bumping into stuff kind of didn't surprise me. Like I was like, it's going to take him a while to adjust to where the furniture is and everything. But I started giving him lion's mane, yours, Mico dog lion's mane, because I watched something that you were on, I believe, talking about how it's proven, clinically proven, I think, to repair the myelin sheath and help with cognition.
Yep.
So, long story short, went through a bottle of that. He's not bumping into anything anymore.
Awesome.
But my question is, so right now, I have at home, I have Heal, which I just started giving him about 5 or 6 days ago. And you have so many great products that sometimes I'm looking at my cabinet because we also have your Vitality, we have your Clarity, we have what's the other mushroom one? Like turkey tail.
Digest. Yep. All
Turkey
of
tail.
them.
And I'm like, should I give them all to him? Like, or do I rotate through each one, or do I do a combination? Like, I don't know.
Well, if you've got a so you have a geriatric dog now.
Yeah.
So, a geriatric dog that is not really suffering from much, I would do probably a combination of the Vitality and the Clarity. So,
Okay.
Clarity and Lion's Mane is great on its own, but the reason that I have them paired with other adaptogens and other mushrooms is because, again, we have more research that shows if you put four or more of them together, they become much more powerful and synergistic. So
Got it.
even though a dropper full of Clarity is technically 350 milligrams of extract of all of those, it's much more powerful because they are synergistic with each other. So
Yeah.
I would do the Clarity for any old or geriatric dog. I don't know if you know, I just finished a piece of clinical research that I did myself.
Yes. Let's talk about this.
And it was,
Yes.
and of course, I knew what the results were going to be because I already did it on my farm. Everything that I say, I've already done myself with old, sick dogs. Like literally the worst cases. They were either going to be euthanized, and the vet called me and said, "Hey, I think you can do something with this case," or the pet parent, like so many, give up because they can never get to the root of the problem, and there's so much money, and their dog never gets better. But Clarity, I would get dogs with CCD, didn't know that what was going on, and thought maybe it was the hemp that was helping. But it wasn't until one of my dogs who got rid of her cancer, got rid of her lameness, and when she was 17, she'd get up from her bed, go over to the water bowl, and just stand there and go back and do it 4 times in a row. And my
Mm.
partner goes, "I think she has Alzheimer's." And I'm like, "What makes you say that?" And he's like, because my dad had it. And you forget how to eat and drink.
Oh, yeah.
You're hungry and thirsty still, but you
Mm.
do not remember how to eat and drink, which to me, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I got working on Clarity, and I ended up losing her to CCD. She was the last one I lost to CCD. My soul dog, I was not going to lose to CCD.
Mm.
But I then could watch dog after dog where they would, and I wasn't sure that this happened for everybody. So I'd get up on stages when was on one of the tours and ask people who has an old dog, are they getting up at night? So they're getting up at night when they don't normally, and they kind of wander around. And do I need to go get a drink, or do I need to go pee, or what is it? That's early signs of CCD.
Mm, mm.
Even bumping into things
Yeah.
or
Just give us
being
that CCD.
disoriented.
What is that acronym you're saying?
Canine cognitive dysfunction, or the D sometimes stands for
Disorder.
something else. Disorder might be, but it's
Yeah,
basically dementia or doggy Alzheimer's. And
thank you.
what they suffer is exactly like how we do.
Hmm.
So I watched it over and over again. I took not only lion's mane that repairs the myelin sheath, it also regrows our telomeres, which I don't know if you know what telomeres are, but inside our cells, our DNA, the little X, the ends of them are the telomeres, and when the telomeres shrink, that's what causes aging. It regrows them.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So
Unbelievable.
does a herb and adaptogen called Bacopa monnieri. So I already knew that about lion's mane and Bacopa monnieri, and then just took reishi and cordyceps with ashwagandha to make this formulation. And that's why I prefer it over just doing a lion's mane because it's just so much more synergistic and powerful. So we
Mm-hmm.
did this research study. We had 30 dogs in the research from mild, moderate to severe CCD, and the dogs with the mild and moderate had an 81% improvement rate.
Wow.
Like,
How good does that feel? You must be like,
well,
I mean,
I'm waiting for the phone calls from the New York Times or
oh,
the a vet association or yeah, I haven't. It's in
really,
peer review right now,
but
but
this is like wizardry. This is incredible work with real effects. Like you're saving animals' lives. You're putting years back on their lives, right?
yep.
Oh my goodness.
Literally reverses it. Literally goes from, I mean, with Odie was getting up 2 or 3 times a night. He didn't get up anymore. He slept through the night. And remember what I said earlier, when you're sleeping, you're healing. If you're not
Right.
Mm,
sleeping, you're not detoxing and healing. And
That's
that's
yes.
like what an old dog needs more than anything.
yeah.
So it was really cool because the research center that we did this with was run by a conventional veterinarian. He was a conventional vet for like 15 years, has been running this for 15 years, and does research for pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it was really funny when we first met with him. He's like, "Look, don't get too excited because it's probably not going to show anything." And I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "Just so you know, pharmaceutical companies, especially in the animal side of things, only have to prove that the health of the animal doesn't get worse or change in 3 months.
Wow.
That's it. They don't have to prove that the drug works. They
That's
don't
a long
after three
statement.
months. And now that he's told me that, I've looked up everybody else's, like Librela, which is the most evil drug on the market right now. It has over 17,000 adverse reports, including death, lots of death. FDA sent a letter to veterinarians and out to the public warning them about it. And they
Yeah.
did. Not only did they only do a 3 month trial twice, they did pet parent surveys. That's
Uh,
all they did. I
uh,
did more than that. I had callers tracking their behavior, heart rate, sleep patterns. We did
mm,
2 different blood tests and a pet parent survey. So
mm,
I did more than Zoetis, who's owned by Pfizer, did because
mm-hmm.
they don't care.
Yeah,
They do not care.
I definitely shared that information about Librella. It was all over the place. Dr. Connor Brady, I think that's where I first saw it. And I have to ask you this question because I recently did a phone consult with someone in Texas, and they were already providing their pet with some CBD products. But it wasn't full spectrum. It was oh gosh, broad spectrum, I think.
Then
Can you
it's not medicine.
can what's that?
And then it's not medicine.
So yes, I just want for anyone
Just
who's
like you want your food not to be over processed or ultra processed, that's what they did. They
yes.
removed the THC to perpetuate that fear that THC is bad for dogs. But what they did is they took out the main compounds. CBD and THC are the main cannabinoids. CBD, for instance, so the main receptors are called CB1 and CB2 receptors. They're everywhere, all over our gut, all over our organs,
Mm,
skin, everywhere.
yeah.
CBD doesn't even bind to the CB2 receptor unless THC is in there. So literally, CBD is just all traveling all over your body and not doing what it's supposed to because it's missing its number one friend that helps it bind. You can't do
Wow.
that. Why are
Yeah.
we messing with nature? Why are
Well,
Yeah.
why do we think we know better? The audacity of these people to think that, ooh. And the reason they did this is because in 2018 when the farm bill came out, you had to wait for the 2018 farm bill to be approved to release your products. If you wanted to release a product beforehand, you just took the THC out and released it. So it was almost like getting ahead of
mm.
the market.
So
Most
check.
of them are gone from the market and left. But you know what's worse than broad spectrum? Isolates.
So
Synthetic isolates of CBD have already been proven. It's a pharmaceutical drug and it was already proven to cause liver damage. They had to stop the research because the people's liver were injured.
mm,
And I watched them go away and now they're back again. There is a brand that's got them everywhere. Not only the research showed, I think it was 1,000 milligrams for humans that cause damage, and they have 1,500, 2,500 milligram
oh, wow.
isolate CBD products. They're isolating other cannabinoids. If we don't fix what this country has just done to hemp, that's all we're going to have. That's all that's going to flood the market is people making pharmaceutical drugs out of cannabis and
So
isolating those cannabinoids.
yeah,
There's
this
118 of those. They
this
need to be together. They need to be with all the terpenes and flavonoids and fatty acids and everything that's in that plant for it to
got it.
be
So
effective.
Angela, I just want to thank you for that. And I'm going to dedicate that last segment over to Chase in Texas. I won't say the last name, but I did refer him to your site and your products. And I hope he does make that switch because as soon as I saw, broad spectrum, I was like, uh-oh, this is not this is not really going to help your animal.
And tell them about that Rosencrantz study.
I
They
will.
tried. They tried to see how much THC would kill an animal, and they could not do it.
I wrote that down, absolutely. And the other question I have to ask on behalf of one of my teammates, who I believe I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. She took all of your courses, by the way. She's excited to get your T-shirt.
Yep.
um, so this is for Teresa, but she was learning about Calm, which is specifically for like stress, anxiety, and I've given that to my dog too around the 4th of July,
Yep.
and it works. He actually sleeps and takes a nap while there's fireworks, which never used to happen before.
Yep.
Anyway, she said something like, I was thinking about taking this for myself, and so the question is, I think a lot of people wonder if they can take some of your products for themselves.
Absolutely. What works for us works for our pets. The
Right.
only difference is that our dogs, and it's only dogs, they haven't found this in any other animal, are more sensitive because they have more receptors. It's
Okay.
not dangerous, they're just more sensitive. So meaning they might get a little high when you won't, and or you may need more than your dog needs. So
Okay.
my horse products, all my products are human grade. I take all of my products. I'm not supposed to recommend for humans to take my products because it's an animal product. I
Right.
literally was told to put for human consumption only on certain things, but it is a plant extract and it is human grade, and they are all therapeutic doses, meaning one dropper full is what was found to work in research for most animals. Your animal or human is an individual, so you have to figure out your dose. But
Hmm.
the horse products are the human dosage. So
My
I
husband
take my horsies every single day, and I take my calm at night to help me sleep. And it does help me sleep. It helps with the waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and
right.
just going back to sleep instead of thinking like crazy. So
My
yes,
husband,
absolutely.
my husband has been taking liver tonic from Adored Beast
Yeah.
every day, and it's funny because we'll get the shipment in, and we get the equine size.
Yep.
Because I remember watching Naturally Healthy Pet Expo, and Dr. Judy Morgan was saying, like, by the way, it's the same ingredients in the pet version, the dog version versus the equine version, but they just you're basically forced to make an extra label, whatever. And anyway, he has seen great results with him personally on that. So that's very exciting to me. I feel like I've been eyeballing stuff too, and I'm like, I wonder if this would help me with fill in the blank. And I'm gonna start it for myself.
Yeah, there I want my next t-shirt to say every senior citizen should be on a hemp and mushroom extract because it literally is just there to support the body as it ages and as it slows down.
Mhm.
And you can't argue with me the fact that we've got plants and mushrooms that help our brain
Mhm.
that keep cancer away. That's not a mistake. I mean, that is really cool. It's really there. We have all the food and medicine that we need. And if we can just make it right, and that's that's what's so crazy to me is that everything is done cheap, fast, how do we whatever. And and I was worried. I was like, am I going to be able to keep up? What happens if this blows up? Well, it's been a lot of work. I've had to ch- turn culinary mushroom farmers into medicinal mushroom farmers, had to find those that were believing that, yeah, it needs to grow on wood, or yeah, it needs to grow on, whatever it is, or the way we extract. You have
Mm,
the only way to get all of those medicinal compounds out is by doing a dual extraction. Most people don't even do that. They don't even, most mushroom products don't even have mushrooms in them. Supplements aren't regulated.
yeah.
Anybody can put anything in a bottle and sell it. And that is why that was the other thing that I do is that I have a COA for every single one of my batches that is easily found on the label where you can look at it and make sure that it is what it says it is and that it doesn't have any contaminants in it.
Mm.
Because you don't want to be giving your dog something that's going to make things worse.
I don't know if it was one of your videos that my teammate, I don't like the word employee, whatever, but one of our teammates was watching. But she texted me and she said, I'm literally going through my house right now because she's also very holistic for herself, right? And she's like, and I'm throwing out like all of my supplements because she found out that a specific ingredient, including cellulose, is really,
Microcrystalline, she did that because of me?
yeah, yeah,
Tell her I love her. That's exactly what I did it with my staff first. I had a staff meeting. I made them all bring their things and
yeah,
we just read the ingredients because
yeah.
that's what happened to me. That's how come I ended up making mushrooms is Nina had osteosarcoma. I was a practitioner for another company that I am no longer a practitioner for because I went down the deep dive, which mushrooms, what did research show, and then what was the therapeutic dose. So
Mhm.
that's where it started, where it was like, I have to put 6 capsules in her or half a pouch of this mushroom powder to get the therapeutic dose. Wait a
Wow.
minute. And then I'm like, why is a mushroom, which is 80% water, like us,
Mhm.
and a dry powder? Why is a liquid and a dry powder? Oh, because it came from China. And it's a
Mhm.
lot cheaper to send a powder over than it is a liquid. It also allows them to add additives in it. So,
Oh,
yes, that's when I discovered microcrystalline cellulose, which is sawdust. Which
yep.
now that company literally is saying, oh no, there's benefits to microcrystalline cellulose. No, it's literally silicon dioxide is sand and microcrystalline cellulose is wood pulp slash sawdust. And the only reason it is in there is to put less of the product, less of the herb or mushroom in there. It is a filler. It does not belong. We have to read these labels.
Yes.
And
Well,
that company, or I can't remember if it was that company, but when the tariffs started happening, I noticed in those other ingredients or inactive ingredients, more started to show up because they're not going to lose money. They're just going to cut how
right.
much of the herb or mushroom that they're going to put in it into it. Well, tell her thank you. That made my day to know that she did that because to me,
Yep.
what's happening now
Yep.
is like I'm the I deal with a lot of pet parent 2.0s. They've got the food right. They know
Mhm.
so much. They're not putting the flea and tick on. They're not doing all the things, but for some reason they still can't get their dog to homeostasis. And I'm like looking at everything. I'm like, show me everything that you're giving them. And that's where I found the culprits. It's
Yes.
all of these inactive or additives or isolates. I just put out a video yesterday about Cosequin, which is the
Yes, I
number
saw
one
that.
joint
I saw
supplement.
that. Totally. I loved it.
All isolates,
Yeah.
all man-made isolates and
Yep.
additives. And it's the
This is the
number
way.
one.
I have this back and forth sometimes. My husband's also very holistic. He was a chiropractor by trade when he
Ah, awesome.
his father was a chiropractor, whatever. The whole family, basically. And he takes vitamins every day. And I'm like, you sure about those vitamins? And I've been challenging him. And sure enough, when you start reading those labels, you realize you're not taking what you think you're taking.
And
It's
you know what, guys? They don't make it easy. I still have to go to Chat GPT and go, is this the right one or is this the synthetic version? So literally take your supplements. If you see anything that you don't recognize, throw it in the trash. You got a vitamin that you can't figure out whether it's real calcium or fake calcium, or if it's real vitamin C or fake vitamin C, take it into chat and say, chat, is this synthetic or is this real? If you were taking vitamins, the vitamins and minerals should come from whole food sources, not
ask.
made in a lab.
Thank you.
Citric acid, for instance, citric acid can come from citrus or it can come from black mold. So we want the one from citrus, but it would literally have to say citric acid from citrus. Otherwise, it's probably the other stuff, or you wouldn't know.
It's
So
tough. I
it's
mean, it's where do where do you start? Like, because while you're talking, I'm writing down like, how do you navigate this? Like, where would you send people? You said Chat GPT, but like, it's so disheartening when you think about if we just put the animals aside for right now and just think about us as human beings and big food and the book that Casey Means came out with, Good Energy, I think is the name of the book, and it's just talking about big food was big tobacco. It's the same gang, and they come over here now,
yep.
and we know how addictive food is with the sugar and all this kind of stuff. I mean, where do you? And I'm not trying to be defeatist. I'm more saying, like, Angela, where do you start? Like, where do you go to get the research and the correct? And then I have a question about my dog Cheeto. But what do
Oh
you
my
do?
God, I love that name.
Thank you. What do you do generally? Where do you go get this information?
Only thing I can say is that you have to read the labels. I mean, just the other day, I ordered something and had to throw it in the trash when it came. When I got here, I'm like, how did I miss that?
Yeah,
But
Mm,
you
yeah,
have to read those labels and you have to do your research. And when I say that, you guys probably think it's simple. When I see a product being promoted online and I go click on it, for instance, God, I can't remember. I want to say it's like PetRx. It's like one of those sites where you can buy all the pharmaceuticals online.
mhm.
Literally, like it'll say Apoquil. I'll click on Apoquil and it will say side effects. You click on it, literally says no side effects reported. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It has
I was
been
gonna
linked to like every type of cancer. It
I
has
know.
unusual cancers that don't show up anywhere else. I hate
Mm.
Apoquil too. But you have to read the label and you sometimes can't even find the label before you buy it.
Oh,
So
that's
yeah. That's
I
brutal.
literally have for Cosequin, you wouldn't even believe like what I had to go through to like verify that, yep, this is what they are and where they came from. But
mm.
you'll go and they won't, sometimes it will only be a picture of the label and you have to zoom in and read and go to the inactive or other ingredients, which is where most of the shit is hidden. But I like to
Unbelievable.
say you can't pronounce it, you don't know
Uh-huh.
what it is, get
Mm.
rid of it.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
the only other thing that should be in these natural products is a safe preservative. That's it. And it should be safe, not like alcohol, which, not to bring up alcohol again, but I wanted to make the point of we have an enzyme that breaks down the alcohol. Dogs don't have that enzyme. Pets don't
Mm,
have that enzyme. So it's 10 times worse for them. So
mm,
Yeah.
why? It never made sense. It's almost like I'm putting my critical thinking hat on and going, why am I giving this dog, it would be like if liver tonic was an alcohol. Why would
mhm.
I be giving my dog something for his liver? Why would I be giving milk thistle in alcohol? He's
Mm-hmm.
got the liver's going to have to deal with that alcohol. So it's almost like
It's
countering
backwards.
each other
Yeah.
out. It
Yeah.
doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
Can you give examples of natural preservatives for our listeners?
Well, for tinctures, organic vegetable glycerin
Okay.
is what we use. Apple cider vinegar is also great. I didn't use that because dogs don't like that in their mouth either. They hate alcohol. Alcohol makes no sense to me because even the dog spit it out and would get all of the medicine out. I'm like, how do I even know I got a therapeutic dose into him? If
Yeah.
he's spitting it out. But it doesn't. There's always a safe way to preserve. You just have to be You just have to be your best advocate. I always say this, there's only one person responsible for your pet's health and your health, and that's you.
Yeah.
Not the veterinarian, not the practitioner, not the influencer who's telling you something. If they
Mm-hmm.
tell you something and you just blindly give it to your dog, that's your fault, not yours. Your
Mm-hmm.
vet says, here, give this, this, and this, and do this. Look it up. Make
Yeah.
sure. I just told you they weren't taught anything about the main system in their body. They're also not taught anything about diet and nutrition.
Yep.
That's the
You know what
advocacy piece too.
the third leading cause of death is for humans and animals after heart disease and cancer, which are both lifestyle diseases?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Medical
physician,
error.
medical error, physicians error.
Medical
Yeah.
error.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
they're
I know.
not
It's tragic.
taught.
It's
It's a
tragic.
standard of care. You come in with this, you get
Yeah.
Yep.
this procedure or prescription, and all it does is suppress the symptoms. It doesn't get to the root cause of the issue.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what somebody told me one time, and I got to ask you one question, then we got to head out. But what somebody told me, it's like, if you ever go out to your car and the check engine light comes on, like if you just put a sticky note over the check engine light, guess what? It goes away. And that's what a lot of like Western medicine is like just cover up the symptoms, and if the symptoms go away, then that's a problem. Well, we've done nothing to address the underlying cause and the illness in the body and the inflammation or just the stress on the body. And it's take that sticky note off and actually address the underlying causes.
Yeah.
I just so Cheeto does this thing like at night when we're sitting on the couch where he scratches the couch like crazy, like or he does it on the we don't really have a lot of carpet, so it must be on the just on the couch. But
Yeah.
I Googled it and it said it's like he's like restless and he's like a little bit like he's having some challenges, like I guess mentally, like he's not comfortable. I mean, I'm guessing had I put a little CBD in, he'd probably chill out a bit. Is that what I'm not giving you
Is
a
he
real
doing it
good.
before he like lays down?
He like even last night I wasn't feeling great, so it's like 10:30 at night. I'm laying on the couch with him down the basement, and he's just like, I'm like, dude, just chill out. Like
Yeah,
he's
absolutely. I would do the calm to chill him out. If you think
yeah,
it's an anxiety or
I
stress
think it
or
is.
too much
Yeah,
energy, then yeah, the calm is
yeah.
great. And the calm
All
is
right.
a full spectrum hemp extract with lavender extract, which lavender is another amazing adaptogen
I
that
love it. I love lavender. For myself, when I'm chill, when I need to chill out,
oh
you put a
heck
little
yeah.
lavender on your wrist here. You smell it. It's so helpful. Angela, tell us how to follow you, how to stay in touch with you, because we are out of time, and I want to make sure folks. And would you come back? Will you come back?
Heck yeah, sure.
All right, all
We
right, all
could
right.
have done like, a CBD one and a mushroom
We
one.
will. We will. You will be our adaptogen and CBD correspondent. We will come
Oh,
to you when we have these
I like
questions.
Queen. If you'd call me adaptogen Queen, I'll
You're
take that.
you're okay, Your Highness. You're yes, Your Highness, Queen. I like that.
I have a podcast called Your Natural Dog, which I talk about these things with other professionals and practitioners all the time. And my website is angelaardolino.com. And the products are CBD Dog Health and Mico Dog that I formulate and founded the companies.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna plant a seed. It's not a question because I know we have to go, but maybe in the future there's CBD cat.
We already have CBD cat.
You do?
Oh yeah.
I don't know about this. I don't know about CBD
Oh yeah.
cat.
We got cat everything. Got cat Mico
Okay.
also,
Wow.
which is
Sorry, I did not know that.
Now
that's
we know.
okay. And I don't know if you know, did you try the new Nourish stick yet?
No, I haven't.
So my new Nourish, I put reishi extract in,
Love.
which fades age spots. So I've been working on them.
Oh, that's
I
But
funny.
love that.
it really is amazing what these plants and mushrooms do. They really like again cancer, seizures, anything that you can. It's basically just bringing you back to health and back to homeostasis. And that's what's so beautiful about them.
You're amazing.
Thank you. So are you. So nice to meet you guys in person.
It was awesome having you on the show. And I usually there's this quote and it's kind of like I thought it was Hippocrates, but then sometimes I see it isn't Hippocrates, but I'm gonna apply it to him because I wasn't there to know who actually said it. But it is let thy food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food, gang, right? So like put the good stuff in, get rid of the bad stuff. I leave you with
And
this.
do no harm.
and do no harm. That's the other one. Exactly.
Why are we
Exactly.
ignoring that? That's
Listen,
literally their
Angela,
own.
you don't want me ranting about how there's no nutrition in Western medicine, and when somebody becomes a doctor, they have like an hour's worth of nutritional. You and I know that. We're all in the know. It's a whole nother show about that because it's out of control. But it's not. How can you, if I'm not given the data as an MD, not to fault the MD because they're not giving the data, but if you're not giving the data and the education, how can I utilize something I don't have, right? So, listen,
And
I leave
that's
you
why
with
I
this.
love that holistic and naturopathic doctor, because not only did they learn everything that MD did, they continued
They
their
got both,
education and they
100%.
learned about ozone and chiropractic and acupuncture and
Love it.
cannabis and adaptogens. So go to them. There's very
You
few,
have
but
to.
go to
They're
them.
there. There
Even if
are
it's on
options.
call. Yeah. Even
There
if
are
it's
options.
telehealth. That's what I
Yes,
do. I'll go get all the
100%.
blood work and then meet with my favorite holistic vet.
The problem is the irony of the whole thing is like that is like the alternative quote, air quotes,
No,
alternative.
it's
Not
the
that should
original.
be the
Right.
way, not the alternative, but that's called
Exactly.
alternative medicine, which is backwards. But anyway, a whole nother show on that. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged in the way its animals are treated. Make it a great day, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, that was awesome.
That was a great ending line. I love that ending line.
Thank you.